One of the things that separates great ball strikers from amateur golfers is where the club is positioned in the downswing. If you can get the club behind you instead of out in front of you in the downswing, you are going to see some excellent ball striking results. You'll hit the ball much straighter with less effort. The ball will hang on a string. And this is what today's episode is all about. Getting your club on the proper path in the downswing. Because let's face it, most golfers struggle with being over the top. You know, where the club moves steeper, the club's going over and it's going down, and your golf game is going downhill with that downswing. So you have to learn how to get the club shallower. You have to learn how to get the club behind you. That's what's going to make you a great ball striker. That's where consistencies come from. Consistency is born here. Inconsistency is born here. Two very different downswing positions. And there's a lot of golfers on TV with different looking swings. Some have lower hands, some have higher hands. But when it comes to the downswing, they all get in that same position. The club behind the hands. The club never going out in front of the hands. So in today's video, we're looking at what we can do to get the club behind the hands so you can hit the ball farther with less effort, straighter, have more fun. The first thing you need to experience is what it feels like to get the club on the proper path. And the best way to think about it is drawing a line here. When you're standing up over the golf ball, this is a wall right here. This is the happy zone on this side of the wall. This is the death zone over here. When it comes to your downswing, you want to keep the club head in the happy zone for a very long time. So when I get my club at the top of my backswing, you should see the club head staying in the happy zone, just like it was here, all the way to where the club's parallel with the ground. That is gold right there. If you can do that, you're gonna play great golf. You'll see inconsistency if the club starts moving over into the death zone to this point here, where the club's parallel with the ground. You see the club head's out in front of the hands versus behind the hands. And the difference between this foot right here, 1 foot, 12 inches, consistent golf, miserable golf. That's crazy, right? It's a game of inches in this sense. So when I'm starting down, I'm always keeping that club head behind the hands to this point here, where the club's parallel with the ground. I like that visual in my mind of where the club head is. Keeping the club head behind the hands in the happy zone. I can see how the club should stay behind me, and there's a little bit of a baby draw. I'll find that if I get the club into the danger zone, the death zone, and I can see the club head out of my peripheral vision here, that if I get the club doing this, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna hit a lot of ugly golf shots. There's a cut, little pull fade. Now with a driver, that's gonna be a big old slice. It's never coming back. You can see the difference between those two is where the club head is positioned. One is in the happy zone, the other is in the death zone. We should strive to keep it in the happy zone if we want effortless power, consistent golf. That's gonna make us happy. That's why it's called the happy zone. We'll never play good golf in the death zone though. Right now you should have a similar setup for your practice station. You can see I've got this stick in line with this stick. The key here is to do it slowly first. When you go to the top and you start down, you might feel like the hands are leading. The hands are leading, the club head's behind, and it's okay if you watch it. Just take a look at it. There we go. Always in the happy zone, and then I can hit the ball. So I'm gonna hit a shot like that, keep it in the happy zone. Club staying behind me, beautiful strike, great sound. Super aware of where that club head is. If you can feel where the club head is, you'll be a great golfer. It's when we lose sight of where this is in our mind. It's where we feel it over here that things get bad. It's when I feel it going over and across and it's in the death zone that we're struggling. So I'm always feeling the club head behind my right hip. And there's a beautiful little push draw again. Too bad the wind today is so brutal, but I couldn't resist sharing this with you because it feels so good when you hit the ball like that. Got my flight scope plugged in here. It's gonna tell us everything we need to know about swings in the happy zone versus swings in the death zone. So we'll start off with a nice 50% swing in the happy zone. That felt good. That's right on the ball. Beautiful push draw ball flight. Too bad it's really windy in my face, so we didn't get much out of the carry there. But club speed 92.8. And the club path 1.7 degrees out to the right, so slightly in to out, And that's just a beautiful little push draw. So happy zone, 92, 93 miles an hour club head speed with a 7-iron, we'll take that. That's awesome. And not a whole lot of effort either, because you're doing less work when the club is behind you here. We're taking advantage of more angular momentum. What I can expect when I move this club into the death zone is that I'm going to lose some of my angular momentum that I got here. So I'll lose some club head speed, but I also lose control of my ball flight. I'll start hitting bigger fades and pulls. That'd be something I see with a lot of amateur golfers right there, the club getting into the death zone and heading down too much. And while I hit it solid, it's tough for me to control that ball flight, because when you hit steep, you end up having to shorten up your arms into impact. And that changes where the face points, it changes how I strike the ball. Flight scope is saying 149-yard carry, really got up into the wind. My club speed was 92.1, which is still pretty good. I felt like I had to work harder though to get that kind of club speed. And I was hitting down a lot more, nearly 10 degrees down. Happy zone again. Really solid strike right there. It's just going. That was beautiful, 170.9, club head speed 94.2. So I added about 1.5 miles of club speed with the club in the happy zone. Let's do another one in the death zone. Club way over in the death zone. My angle of attack is nearly 12 degrees down, so I'm hitting down a lot, very steep. Club path, 5.7 degrees left. And that's just a straight up pull, 168.9. You can see the difference in ball flight is just amazing between those two. I won't be able to get a lot of distance out of that steep downswing. I'm not working too hard here to hit at that 170-yard 7-iron. That was beauty. Another push draw. Oh, that was juiced. That was like steroid or a baseball. Look at that. Nearly zeroed my path and face. Carry is 184.1. Club speed is 96.2. Let's put together a little grouping. Three. These are nuked. Still in the air. Wow. That one was long. 194.8. Jeez, that's a beautiful push draw. Ball just exploded off the face. That's what I'm talking about. Woo, it's still in the air. Awesome. Good shot. You know what, I don't even want to go to the death zone after that, but we'll do it anyway, because I told you how to hit 5. Nowhere near as solid. Divot's pointing left. Messed up the beautiful divot pile. That was a lot of death zone right there. That was a good old top. That's what happens when you get in the death zone. Unpredictability. We want predictability. Really steep and down. That is not going to work with a longer club. Might get away with it with a 9 through 7 iron, but nothing longer than that. Okay, let's look at the grouping here. We got 5 uglies. It's 161.4, 93.3 mile an hour club head speed. Here's another ugly. That was the cold top. 38 yards of carry. Wow, I really got all that one. Here's another one. 9.6 degrees left, so swing across at nearly 10 degrees. 147 yard carry. Club speed is down to 89.9. And then the final one of the uglies, the death zones, 164.9 carry, 91.1 ball speed. Swing across at 5.7 degrees. Here's one of the good ones, 173.3, 96 mile an hour club head speed. Then here we go with another beauty. By the way, if you notice the green and reds, don't think too much about them. I got it set for certain ranges. I think I've got it set for driver right now, so those numbers are going to be a little different. But these path numbers are good. They're in the green. I like them when they're in the green. Here's that long one, 194.8. That was 96 mile an hour club head speed, 1.7 degrees out to the right, so in the happy zone again. You're going to find that the ones I hit best are holding on that line. The ones I hit worst are not holding on that line. So we're going to look at training the downswing. What do we need to do to have a good downswing? Well, you don't need to worry about launch monitors or anything. And this is certainly a great place to start. Another thing that will train you to hit the ball really well is this magical lag shot training aid. Without thinking, it will get your downswing on the proper path so you can stay in the happy zone all day long. It means playing the best golf of your life in the happy zone. With this lag shot, you've got a weighted head and a whippy shaft. This head is so weighted, but you can also hit golf balls with it. So the shaft is rated to hit balls. This is awesome because when you practice, you'll be feeling the swing you need to have while hitting balls. How many of you have trouble with your practice swing and your real swing being two different swings? Like, oh man, if I could only hit the ball in my practice swing, I'd be a great golfer. Yeah, I hear that all the time. This is where you can actually hit the ball and get that practice swing to be your real swing. So with the lag shot here, with the weighted head, for you to feel the correct downswing, it has to feel like a smooth swing with the lag shot. You can see as I'm swinging through here smoothly that the weight of the club is naturally directing it into the happy zone and through impact. But if I try and hit into the death zone, I feel a diving sensation with this club head. It's like all of the weight of the world is just going down. So, and then it's across and it's ugly. You can hit balls with this and it won't let you hit bad shots. That's why this is like having your own instructor at home with this lag shot. If I try and go to the death zone, I don't even want to hit the ball because there's no way it's going to hit the ball. I'll probably hit me. I'm not wearing a cup today either. I feel it going down in the death zone, it's death. I can only really hit balls with this in the happy zone because the club's staying behind me. I could never hit it with it in the death zone. And this is great because how many of us want that real-time feedback of a launch monitor or something? A training aid like this where you can hit balls, priceless. Feeling it nice and smooth, club head's behind me. Wow, effortless. And you'll be getting that sensation of the club staying behind you. You'll know right away when it's not right. Death zone always results in this rushing jerk motion down towards the ball. Happy zone always seems to result in that smoothness. It's like the golf swing was designed for us to feel it smooth, right? It's like this whole time, if we were feeling the swing smooth, we got the club on the right path, and the lag shot's telling me how to do that. Get your very own lag shot. Look at the link in the comments and the description below. You get a nice discount on it by using the link there. So be sure to do that because this is priceless. I hope you can hear that. It trains the downswing. It trains a lot of parts of your golf swing. You probably saw me use it in a few other episodes. If you don't have one of these, get one because how many times do you want that direct feedback? This will train you to have a good downswing. Then you'll take it to the club and we'll be keeping it in the happy zone all day long. There's a draw. That is going far too. And you see I'm not putting a whole lot of effort into my swings because you don't need to. We get the club in the happy zone, it does all the work for you. Another draw. This is probably one of the most valuable things you could do as a golfer right now. And if you really want to iron this out, you want to do this shot after shot. The lag shot will get you there. Another thing that will get you there is my complete online golf swing training program at SagutoGolf. It walks you step by step how to build your swing to do beautiful contact like that, shot after shot, so you can play the best golf of your life right now. Life's too short to play bad golf, so don't wait. Start playing the best golf of your life with SagutoGolf. I'll see you in a future episode.